Hello everyone, it's GlitchNOut, and welcome back to the second episode on Glitch Plays Minecraft. So last episode we made that base which is right back there, and we've also set up a little mine, as well as going to the nether. This episode I wanted to work on making the base look a little bit more nice, just right now it's just really boring. And so the first thing I've done is actually added a little animal pen right here, and it isn't very big, and we're definitely gonna add more to it. But for now, I just tried to keep the shape variated instead of making just a square or like a triangle or whatever. So this kind of just makes it more organic, and I tried to make it like kind of like fit like the landscape. So it like just curves right here, as well as the curve right there. Over here, I did a little bit of terraforming, and I'm planning on adding a wheat field right here. So I'm just gonna add like maybe like a little bit of walls around, and then just put a bunch of wheat right here because we need wheat to feed our cows. And yeah, definitely gonna work on some terraforming. Might even put like a big custom tree like right in the middle right here. I think that could look really cool. And so yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is just work on our wheat field and just kind of get a basic outline for it. Okay, so I've gotten a basic outline for our very small wheat field, and basically what I have is just, the same idea as the pen over there. So it's just like kind of curving to the landscape. But this time I'm using cobblestone, and what we're gonna do actually is change it up a little bit. This, right now, you could just leave it like this, but it doesn't look that good right now. So what we're gonna do is just add different, like, slabs and walls and stairs into the mix, and what this does is just makes the texture look a lot better, a lot more busy. And yeah, on these ones actually, so we want to bring the cobblestone all the way down, so that's another build tip. This makes it so it looks like it's actually sunk down into the landscape. We can add a couple walls maybe here and there, and you're just bringing in lots of different textures and stuff so that it makes it look a lot better. So I'm just gonna go around, complete all of this, and then in the future we can actually get mossy cobblestone. Maybe even pretty soon, because we have that zombie spawner, and I'm just gonna break away some of these blocks that make it so that like mobs can get in. Yeah, but we have that zombie spawner, so what we can do is take the mossy cobblestone from that, and then just mix it in here and there. And already this thing is looking so much better. It just, yeah, just adding these small details can really make your build look a lot better. So that's actually a block right there, maybe one more right there, and yeah, that's actually almost done. Now all I need to do is put the crops in, and you'll see that makes it look a lot better. The crops have now been placed in, and as you can see, that really does add quite a bit to the build. It makes it just that little splash of color can just make the whole difference. And it's definitely not complete. We're still going to do some stuff around the outside. But there is another thing that we actually have to address, which is pathways. Because as of now, we do not have any paths. And so everything kind of feels like disconnected and, just doesn't feel like it's a base. It's more like a bunch of different buildings. And yeah, in between clips, I also just came over here and did a little bit of work on the cow pen. I added some podzol and coarse dirt to the floor, and then added this little water trough that I just made using some of the spruce stairs, and then waterlogged them. And then on the front, just a couple of the spruce trapdoors. There's also a couple hay blocks just mixed around, and I think it should be okay. Never mind, it's not breeding time for the cows yet. But yeah, I do have a path design already created, so all I need to do is get some resources, and I'll show you it. So the path we're going to make is going to be made out of coarse dirt, spruce, planks / slabs, and path blocks, which we can just get by right-clicking using the shovel. And so what I'm going to do first is just kind of lay out the path. So I think for now we'll work on the path that goes over there. And so I actually do need to get rid of these berry bushes and just kind of, move them around. Maybe put them over here for now. And then what I'm going to do is just take, I guess, some of my dirt and just maybe lay out kind of how I want the path to curve. So maybe coming up here, coming like this, maybe a little bit more of that. and right up to, let's say, right there to meet up with that. And so what I'm going to do now is just kind of delete the blocks as I go, and then just make a mix of the different blocks. So maybe put a spruce plank right there, right click that, and then I'll just kind of mix the path blocks in as I go. And you don't have to make it perfectly organized. That's kind of the beauty of making paths, is that it is just kind of a mix of a bunch of different blocks in a not so uniform pattern. The only thing that's common or that stays the same is the type of blocks you're using, and you don't just want to randomly switch from different types of blocks to other ones. And yeah, so yeah, just keep the same blocks, and if you really don't like it, you can make gradual transitions between types of paths, and that just helps look a lot better. And then what I'm going to do, once I have this kind of basic area, I'm just going to look around and see if any of the parts are like don't fit in. And so like maybe like right here, that was too much right there, so I'll get rid of that. Maybe one right there, and then I'm just going to keep mixing in different blocks here and there, and I'll come back once I'm finished. I've now finished putting in all the blocks for the path, and as you can see, it looks really good. Now we actually get this kind of structured look, and it really looks like these two different buildings are connected, which is kind of what I'm going for, so that's good. Notice how there aren't really any just like dirt blocks around. I tried to make sure all the different blocks were filled in, because this is the part of the path that's walked on. So maybe there were like a couple of different blocks, but really not too many. Note that on these ones, I actually did put in these small cobblestone bits under the hoed land, which basically makes it look like the cobblestone is like sunk down into the ground. But I did not do that for these wooden slabs, and my reasoning for that is these are like little like bits of wood that are just put on the dirt to make the climb easier, so they're not really pushed into the ground. Though I might do it occasionally for some of the pieces, but you know, it's not necessary. The next part of the path that we need to do is, I guess, coming over to our mine entrance. And so yeah, I'll do that real quick, and then we can look at how the two different paths like I guess like move away from each other. And yeah, the path has now been made to the mine entrance, and I just did a little bit of work on it, just, you know, adding a couple oak logs to make it look more like an entrance to a mine, and we'll definitely do more on the actual walls of it, but for now this is kind of good, a good start. And then I also just took the path and went from here and just took it up all the way to our cow pen, which I think looks really nice. So yeah, right now everything is connected, right? It's looking pretty good, and yeah, we got a pretty good thing going, but I feel like this space right here is rather empty, and so I think I'm gonna actually try my hand at making a custom tree. I'm not that good at them, so we'll see how it turns out, but I have been watching a couple videos on how to make them, and I think I can make a pretty decent one right there, and it can kind of be like a nice little centerpiece to our little area before we move on to bigger projects. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put that in now. Maybe do it as, I guess, a tutorial almost. Yeah, I'll just get a bunch of logs, and then I will show you how to make a tree. So the custom tree that we're gonna be making is fairly simple, and you know, not that big. It's just a nice little thing that you can add to your world. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is just maybe take up a log like this, maybe 4 blocks, 3 blocks, yeah. Anything you really want to do, and then you can just take your logs and kind of just mix them in to create this kind of base. But we don't want it to be too patterned, so let's say maybe right here we take this block out and put one of these just like there. So you just get these kind of nice roots for the build, and then after that you can raise it up maybe another block like this, and then we can actually grab some of our spruce. So let's say definitely need a couple stairs. So let's just grab a couple of those. And then let's say we want to curve the tree maybe this way. So we can put one of these stairs right there. Break this out, that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically what this does, it gives you this nice curved trunk that we can work with. And we're going to be adding more details to the trunk in a second, but for now, let's just establish kind of our like branches. So what we can do is I'm going to actually just scaffold myself up here and just take these branches out. And you just heard my phone again. So yeah, we can just take these branches out and curve them in various directions. So maybe we put one, how about we pull it down? Yeah, we'll pull it down like this. And then maybe go like that. And then maybe we come back up here and do another one right like this. And maybe just put like that. Or actually, you know, let's do our normal little curve right there. And then maybe one more branch right there, which we can do pretty simply by taking some of these. And maybe make this one a little bit thicker than the other one by keeping that block in and putting another one just like that. So that's pretty simple. And now to finish off like the trunk of the build, all we have to do is, ooh, do I like how the branches are like that? Here, give me a second, I'm just gonna move these branches around slightly. Okay, so I've pulled that branch up so that it gives this area right here a little bit more room to breathe. And now what I'm gonna do is actually craft a couple fences and just dot them around in various spots to make the curve of the tree nicer. And then what we can actually do is also take some of the slabs, take some of those, and then just mix them in maybe here and there, because the spruce slabs go really nicely with the oak wood, so that's good. And now it's time for the slightly more difficult part of the tree, which is, of course, the leaves. So to make room for the leaves, we're gonna actually have to craft a bunch of fences. So let me do that real quickly. And what we're gonna do is take some of our fences and just branch off a couple blocks with the fences. And these are, I guess, are like the twigs of the tree, so you could call them. And so yeah, we're just gonna take these. Maybe this one goes like that. We'll have another one to smooth out the curve here. Maybe put some of the branches going like this. And then maybe one down, let's say here, and just one right there. And so now we have these nice curves and room for our leaves to go. But what we're actually gonna do now is look for spots that feel a bit empty almost, because we don't want there to be any like empty branches of the tree. So what we can do is just like, let's say this part feels a little bit empty, so just take some of your logs and just branch out. And so maybe this part feels a little bit empty, so we'll just take a little bit of them, pull that there, and we drop that log, but that's fine. And maybe one more, actually let's go right there. So we'll just break these blocks right here. And now we have this nice branch-filled tree that we get to work with. As I said before, the leaves are one of the more difficult parts of the tree. So when you're making them, I have a couple tips. One, make sure that you get a little bit of sunlight when you're looking up through the tree. And then also just don't like pile leaves on like everywhere, because we don't want it to be too thick. And then also just make sure to look at your tree from every single angle, because you don't want your tree to look good at one angle and then look bad at another one, right? And so to start off, I want to reach the places where maybe I can't reach normally. So maybe a couple blocks here and there on the bottom of these, because what we're going to be doing is basically just wrapping these leaves around on various spots. And so I just want to make sure that I am getting most of these ones that I can't normally reach. And then we're going to come up top and just wrap our leaves around these fence posts. And we can actually leave out some of these, so it's okay if you miss a couple, because that's actually going to make it feel more open in the end. So maybe we'll leave that one and that one open, and then maybe cover this part up a little bit. Come over here, give this a little bit of a wraparound. And it is a bit hard to reach some of these fences when you're just doing this, but trust me, you can reach everything. I think if I can get over here, sometimes you have to place a couple placeholder blocks. I'll get some of my shears out just so I can pick up some of the leaves. I don't want to waste anything because you do need a good amount of leaves for a custom tree in most cases, unless you're just doing one of those ones that is not very, leafy, like a dead tree or like a tree that's been just worn down by nature. So yeah, dead trees and all that kind of stuff. But we are going for an alive tree because we have a little community here. I'm gonna go for the theme that the people here, or I guess, am caring for this tree because it's a centerpiece. And so we don't really need this tree to be very dead, you know? And so yeah, let me finish wrapping around these leaves. And then I will show you how to build the next part. Once you're done placing the leaves, you should have a rather spotty looking tree, and if that's what you're going for, go ahead and leave it like that. But what I'm gonna actually do is just take my leaves and just connect the dots almost, you know? Make them all come together, and you know, just kind of add these leaves everywhere, take some away, you know, bring them back, and just keep going around and just making all of this look as natural as possible, because that is what you're going for, of course. So yeah, this is the part that takes time, because you just have to look around at what you're doing and make sure you got what you're going for, right? So that's what you're going for, then keep it. If it's not, then don't be afraid to take away different parts of your tree and rebuild them, because it's better to have a good product at the end than a bad one, you know, yeah. Don't know where I was going with that, you know. So yeah, let me just finish putting in these leaves, and then I'll come back. I've been here for a while just placing and breaking leaves, but another tip when it comes to making custom trees is that sometimes you just have to just accept that you've done your best, and just to stop placing the leaves, because if you keep placing them, then eventually your tree is just not going to look very good. So you just have to know when to stop, and when to know that you're satisfied. And you might not be completely satisfied, it might not be perfect, but this is organics, and when you're building, like, you're doing organics, you can't expect it to be perfect, because it's never perfect. But you can get pretty close to perfect, and I mean, I'm not saying that this tree is perfect or anything, but I am pretty proud of it, because I haven't done many custom trees before, and so I think this one turned out pretty decently. And I definitely think it does add quite a bit to our build, or our base. And then while I'm building it, I can just see how maybe other stuff would connect to it. So maybe like a little pond right here, or like a bit of storage, or you know, you just get these ideas as you're working with these different builds, and that can really help you out. So yeah, I actually have to go harvest the wheat, and then we'll check on the cows and see if it's breeding time yet, because as you can see, there's a lot of them. It's almost time to get some beef. Yes, beef time. I've gathered the wheat from our little wheat farm over there. It does produce quite a good amount, and it's time to breed these cows. And now that we have so many, breeding them gets us a lot of baby cows, which is very useful for keeping the streak, I guess, getting more babies, right? And so yeah, once we have all these cows, I'm just gonna hop up here, come over here, and it's time to you know, get a bit of beef.
I don't like doing this very much. We need leather for the enchanting setup. So yeah, by next episode we should have a full enchanting setup. Didn't mean to use sweeping edge there, didn't mean to use sweeping edge there. But because we don't have sweeping edge in our sword, we shouldn't do too much damage. And yeah, we should be okay. And oh, this makes me feel so bad on myself. But it has to be done. Here, one second. We'll just pick them out with the axe so it doesn't one hit kill. Just give them mercy. And the last little cow. Was that evil enough?
Now we just have a bunch of babies, and how much leather did we get? 20. So that's pretty good, and also 39 steak, which is really nice. I mean, it was paid for at a high price, but with the power of our smoker, it is good. And now we have good amount of leather to start our enchanting setup. This episode is getting a little bit long, or I mean, the last one was about this length, but I think now it's actually time for us to head into the nether and gather some resources for our base. So there are a couple things that I need for the base, and one is the soul soil, which is we're going to use to make a couple soul lanterns and soul torches and all that stuff. Get my bow out. I do have a couple arrows, yeah, so we should be able to take this guy down. And you know what? This place is pretty safe. Let's try to get that return to sender. Or not, or we can just completely miss. And there we go. Return to sender on camera. Let's go. Let's deal with these skeletons real quick. A little bit of an action-packed bit of the episode. Kind of missing it. Good skeleton farm here, I guess. Wouldn't be that effective, but we can finish it. Okay, yeah, so to make the soul lanterns and stuff, we're gonna need a bunch of this soul soil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a couple pieces of this, and I might also grab a couple bone blocks. And then we also need to get a little bit of shroomlight because it's like a good glowstone alternative that's actually really easy to get. So yeah, let me get both of these things, and then we'll come back to the base and I'll show you how we're gonna make our base look a lot better. Oh yeah, and for those of you who don't know, the hoe is now a very good block for breaking some of these new nether blocks, specifically the wart blocks, the shroomlight, hay bales, sponges, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's actually got a purpose now, so we're definitely be making a netherite hoe at some point in this series. So yeah, looking forward to that. Serious dedication, right? Now that we have some shroomlight, yes, and soul lanterns, as well as some soul torches, it's time to get rid of these ugly torches that we just randomly have in our base. And so the first way that I'm going to hide some lighting, just come underneath our chests, every other block like this, and then just replace these with a couple pieces of shroomlight. That looks really nice. We might even make all of these shroomlight if we have some spare. Yeah, just come in on every single one of these blocks, and the shroomlight's gonna be our main source of light, and then the soul lanterns are gonna be more like decorative because these ones don't give off that much light, but they do look really nice, and I wanted to incorporate some of them. So that's what we're gonna do. We might come over here, let's say, plop a soul lantern down right here, break this torch, and we gotta just check the light levels. See, this is not good, right? So I wonder, can you no, okay, that's not a thing anymore. Let me grab my hoe. Okay, so I think for this part, what I'll do is I will mix in behind these different things. So like right here, shroomlight, and back here, some other shroomlight, and that should deal with our light problem. That side, and then maybe over here, we can put one of these down here, and that should actually, yeah, give us some good light levels here. But then, no, okay, so maybe we put a bit of shroomlight underneath the bed, you know, just hidden like that. Gives our bed a nice glow. And then, let's see, I have a piece of shroomlight right there, and so let's just get rid of all of these torches. I'm just gonna just put lights wherever I can, and then I'll come back once we have some pretty good hidden lights. The wretched torches are now all gone, and yeah, you may notice how there are some exposed shroomlights on the floor, and that's just because I don't have sheep yet, so I can't make carpet just yet. But don't worry, I will be making it soon. Probably gray carpet because it fits that floor design. So yeah, don't worry, that won't be there forever. And yeah, I think we did everything I wanted to do in this episode. Definitely not going as fast paced as the Minecraft Amplified, or yeah, Minecraft Amplified or the Quantum SMP. But it was a good episode nonetheless, and yeah, if you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. This has been GlitchNOut. Bye everyone.